guys, so here is question number 2 in my series that I'm doing entitled Questions Buyers Should Ask. So today's question is, how much money do I have to have in order to buy a house? And so I think this is really important, especially for my first-time home buyers, because there are some big misconceptions out there regarding how much it costs to actually buy a house. So the first thing that you have to consider is your down payment. Now, the 20% down payment that you typically hear is a common misconception about how much you have to put down on a house. 20% obviously would be ideal, but most people don't have that unless they're selling another property. And there are a lot of programs out there that will help you with down payments. The USDA loan for more rural communities is 100% financing, so there's no down payment necessary with that. There are FHA programs where your down payment can be as little as 3.5%, sometimes even as low as 3%. And there are even some FHA programs that are FHA 0 programs with some lenders that I've talked to that would actually help with that 3% down payment. There's also conventional loans that you can get at 3 to 3.5% as well. And I just recently spoke to a lender that has a 100% conventional loan program at their mortgage company that I actually am working with a buyer on right now. So the 20% is not necessary for a down payment on a home. Something else that you will be looking at is earnest money. Earnest money is basically a goodwill promise, a deposit, if you will, on the house to let the seller know that you are serious about buying their house. So the bigger the earnest money payment, the more serious the seller takes your offer. The earnest money is not necessary. It is not a requirement, but for most offers that you make on a house, the seller is not going to consider offers that do not have some type of earnest money payment. Earnest money can be as little as $500 and as much as you want, $1,500. And some sellers, especially with more expensive houses, they want 1% of the purchase price. Now that earnest money is applied to your closing costs at closing, so it's not lost money. It's just applied for your closing costs. There are other expenses to consider when buying a house. One would be closing costs. Your title company, your attorney, and your mortgage company will all have closing cost fees that they will charge in order to get you into that property. There are also inspections that have to be done. There's home inspections, there's wood infestation inspections, and other inspections depending on the property. If something comes up, you may have to have further inspections. There are septic inspections and sewer inspections that you might want to have. If you've got a septic tank, you might want to make sure that septic tank is clean before you move in. So there's those kinds of things. There's appraisal costs. There's all kinds of different things that you have to have in order to purchase a property. And so you want to make sure that you have some money set aside. Plus, you've got to think, once you've closed, you're moving. So now you've got to probably rent a truck, and you've got to, either that or pay movers to move you. So you want to have some money set aside in order to purchase a house that will cover all of these expenses. So spend some time planning for these expenses before you begin to shop for a home. That way, when the expenses come up, you're not trying to figure out how to make that work out of your income. It's already in savings. It's been set aside. It's been allocated. I hope this helps clear up any misconceptions and maybe clarify. If you guys have any questions about buying, I would love to answer them. I also have some great lenders that I work with that have some fabulous programs that will help you get into a home with minimal to no down payment. And I would love to share their information with you as well. I hope you guys have a fabulous day, and I will see you for question 3.